Hello, welcome back to another edition of our Simpsons season review. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, please feel free and check them out. In this video, move on to season 2, episode 12, The Way We Was. This episode first aired on January the 31st, 1991. Now, the reference to this episode title is to the 1973 movie The Way We Were, just in case you wanted to know. Reference to the title.
Now, viewing figure wise, another increase from the previous episode, now up to 26.8 million viewers.
Still decent because it's still early Simpsons.
Yeah. Debut characters for this episode.
Yeah, we've got Rainier Wolfcastle as a debut character.
Yeah, with the McBain movie, and it's the first showing of its McBain franchise. Now, if you're not aware, throughout the earlier series, they did show clips of McBain. We've subsequently learned in previous years that come along that if you put them all together, they do make up a mini movie. So this is the first one of that one.
The next one is Marge's dad, Clancy Bouvier, who's also been shown in a later episode.
Yeah, he was in Marge's Fear of Flying when he tried to make out that her seeing him as an air steward basically made her afraid of flying, even though previous episodes have proved that Marge can fly without being fearful of it. Also, Artie Ziff, who mainly pops up in the flashback episodes anyway. He's been in a couple of the present day ones, but mainly flashbacks. Also, again, another one that's seen in flashback episodes is Principal Dondolinger. As I say, just the flashbacks, obviously, he's just Marge and Homer's previous principal.
Who didn't like Homer either.
Yeah, but again, we'll learn that as we get into the episode.
Yeah.
But basically, we start off with the family watching TV before the television decides it's going to break. Yeah,
it starts getting fuzzy. Homer tries to fix the TV and we know he's not capable of fixing anything, basically.
Yeah, the kids are getting hysterical because the thought of not being able to watch TV scares the living daylights out of them.
The TV goes off, but Bart does see a small little dot which he thinks he can see.
Yeah, he believes he's that desperate to watch. But yeah, the TV's basically dead.
This is when Marge comes up with a comment that he never used to watch TV.
Yeah.
He used to go dancing.
Even though the kids can't believe that. And yeah, she basically then decides to tell the story of how they first met. Basically just starts off in school/college years for them. As we say, Dondolinger doesn't like Homer. He finds Homer in the bathroom with Barney smoking. So at this point we learn that Homer and Barney have been friends from the beginning.
And this is the first episode where we see Homer smoking. He smoked cigarettes in the bathroom as a teen, but he would later smoke cigars and pipes in later episodes.
Yeah. So from this, he gets detention for it anyway, but by the sounds of it, he's always in trouble anyway.
Yeah, he knows where the detention room is.
Yeah.
And so does Barney.
Yeah. In the meantime, Marge is a protester sort of thing.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
And she also gets detention because she sets fire to a bra.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't see Moe, Lenny and Carl. I thought they were friends when they were younger as well, because in the later episode... Weren't they all friends at a younger age?
Yeah. We'll get on to the other ones later on.
Yeah.
That's a side subject for this one. But yeah, so we get to detention. Before Marge turns up, you got Barney just...
trying to get a date for the prom.
Yeah, basically telling Homer this one. And Homer being
a supported friend.
Yeah, he basically makes out like, I'll just take anybody, basically. There's bound to be someone in this school that'll go. You're sort of making out that only the worst sort of ones.
Yeah.
Not the best looking ones are more his type. At this point, Marge walks in. Barney's just in the process of asking her out, and Homer butts in with his "I saw her first" line.
She's mine.
Yeah.
Which is a bit creepy in another sense.
Yeah. He gets talking to her during detention, but the teacher that's in there is telling him to be quiet. Every time he says a word, he gets an extra day of detention. This eventually turns into 6 days of detention, which he just turns around and goes, "It's worth it," sort of thing, because he thinks he's got a chance with Marge at this point.
Yeah, but if he's having 6 days of detention, she's not going to be there for 6 days, is she?
Yeah, exactly. But I think he's trying to say it was worth it because he thinks he's basically got to know Marge and she likes him, sort of thing. And then basically we lead on to Homer. I presume this is back at the family farm.
Yeah.
But again, because of the continuity, it might be a house or something. Trying to get advice from Grandpa.
And his advice is, get yourself a beer, get me one.
Yeah. And then when he explains what's happened, Grandpa then sort of makes out like Homer's got no chance and just to basically settle for average or not as good.
Well, no wonder we don't like him in later episodes.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, good person to go to. So he decides he's going to go to the school guidance officer, and basically goes in like, what guidance up? And then he goes, "Oh, let this girl, I want to know how I get her to like me," sort of thing. He's like, well, again, like he says, not really sort of thing a guidance officer would do.
No, he mentions the power plant to him that's just opening.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, the power plant's not open yet in this sort of time period. Just before he leaves, the guidance counsellor just say, "Oh, well, she's on the debate team." So he gives Homer the idea of getting on the debate team there. But when he leaves, he's like, "What, me and the power plant?" Kaboom! So even then he knows that he's going to cause
he's not
problems.
wrong, because that's what does happen.
Yeah. And yeah, so he gets himself a place on the debate team. The debate is on the speed limit being reduced,
which Homer's not happy about.
So he gets put on the con side of it or the pro side of it, whichever. He gets put on the opposite side to what Marge is on. And then once the debate is over, he then learns that Marge is teaching French, as she puts it, to students that are struggling. So Homer then gets the rather stupid idea to announce that, oh, he's flunking French. That's the one lesson he's flunking.
Not a good way to go about it, to get a girl to lying.
Exactly. So he invites around.
That's love making music on, which Marge spots.
Dims her lights, yeah. She just wants to study. They do actually make progress, though. He does actually learn some French. And then, by this point, it seems that Marge is starting to like him, so that's when he asks her out to the prom. She actually agrees, but then Homer being Homer, surprisingly actually admits he lied, even though Homer in later episodes, maybe this is the benchmark for it, learning his error. Instead of not lying just in later episodes when he lies, he just doesn't admit it.
Yeah, but if you liked her that much, why lie? Because you knew she had an exam the next day, and he kept her up to like 1 a.m. in the morning. And so the next day she was tired. No wonder she slapped him across the face.
But again, it's Homer. He's never been the best person. He's always sort of
out for himself, basically, yeah.
But yeah, once she tells her, like you say, she slaps him. I
hate you, did she say?
Yeah, I hate you and I never want to see you again. And yeah, the next day, she's tired. She can't concentrate. So yeah, he's basically ruined her morning, her exam. Artie then comes up to her and asks her out, or asks her to the prom. She agrees because she sees him as the top student. And then basically we get to the night of the prom. Homer turns up firstly. The family obviously think, oh, this is her date.
Yeah.
And then when he walks in, the family sort of, they're surprised, disgusted, would you say?
I'd say that. This is where we find out Patty and Selma didn't like Homer at a younger age.
Yeah.
That's basically when you first saw him, basically.
Yeah, so sort of you can say the foundations were laid there. But again, this is before they find out that he lied anyway, so it is the point of they hated him from first sight anyway.
Exactly.
Maybe from this lie that hatred stayed, or whether it was just the fact that he didn't like him full stop. Then Marge comes down and then sees that Homer's there, asks why he's there, because she repeats what she said. It's like, I told you I hate you and I never wanted to see you. Homer's like, oh, yeah. Even though he admits he heard it, he's like, oh yeah, I thought I was okay, so I thought I'd stay away from you for a couple of weeks, even though it meant missing school.
It's a bit stalkerish.
Yeah.
A bit weird. It's like if the girl said no, why don't you just leave it and go, I'll leave her.
Yeah. So he's obviously heard, but thought if he stays away, she'll change her mind, sort of thing.
Why didn't her dad throw him out?
Yeah.
Wouldn't your dad, like, if he comes round and she said no, wouldn't the dad go, right, out the house, he's got a date for the prom, you're not the date, or leave?
But then again, with her dad, it's like over the years, it's like we never do we actually really fully find out what happened to him?
No, I don't think we did.
It's like he just sort of disappears, so he's not exactly Father of the Year material to begin with.
True.
You could probably say he's worse than what Abe is in this episode eventually.
Yeah.
At least Abe stays around. But yeah, Artie turns up. Patty and Selma take a liking to him straight away. There's a bit of flirting there.
Yeah.
But again, that's just because Artie thinks he's fucking God's gift. So, and yeah, obviously Homer decides to leave at this point because he's asked who's this, and he sort of turns on and goes, I'm a spare wheel?
You won't spare anything because she told you no.
Exactly. He then goes out to the chauffeur. He's like, chauffeur driver thinks, oh, you're not going. He's like, no, I paid for it, I'm going. Turns out he seems to be the only one that doesn't even have a date.
He only goes to the prom, I reckon, is to spy on Marge. That's all it was.
He can't, even at this point, he can't admit that she doesn't like him.
We see Barney at the prom as well.
Yeah, he runs through butt naked. So
that's a Barney thing to do.
Yeah. So did he have a date and do that, or did he not have a date? So he just thought he'd get drunk, and that's what happened.
I think got drunk.
Yep. So then we find out that Marge and Artie are being voted the king and queen of prom.
And then Homer says something out.
Yeah, all hail Queen
out,
Marge and all this. It comes across like he still thinks that she's his sort of thing. So yeah, even more Stalker's acts. This leads to Marge speaking to him and asking why he's come. He's like he's still adamant that they're supposed to be together, even though Marge is like just face facts. I come with someone else. I don't want to be with you.
She didn't have to speak to him. She told him no.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to comfort him and say that. He should have took the answer first and go, no, right, I'll leave Marge alone.
So again, Marge is nice aside the fact that she still wants to sort of help someone, even though she doesn't at this point have feelings for the person. And again, like I said, she hates him. So it still shows that Marge has got a soft side to her, even back in school years.
Too soft,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Then Homer is then asked where he wants to go home. He's like, oh no, I want to go to Makeout Point. And then the chauffeur's obviously quite apprehensive. It's like, you want anything else like that, you'll have to pay extra.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So I don't know why he wants to go there anyway. Why do you want to go to Makeout Point on your own?
We're going to make out on his own, was he?
Oh, in fact, let's not go
I
there.
know, exactly.
Then it leads to the fact that the chauffeur then turns around eventually and is like, you want me to stay any longer? It's $45 an hour. Homer's like, no, I'm scared I'm going to walk home.
Just so happens Marge goes past in the car.
Well, before that, Marge and Artie are also at Makeout Point, and
Artie goes a bit too far.
Yeah, they're not basically going as far as to say he forced himself on her.
You can sort of say that, though.
It can be construed as that. Marge slaps him, so he does stop, and then she says she wants to go home. Like you're saying, see Homer on the way back. Artie then pleads with Marge, wants her back at her house, not to say anything because he believes it'll ruin his reputation. Even though if he is as smart as he says he is, even back then I believe that the smart people wouldn't have been that popular anyway at school, so maybe they wouldn't have
exactly.
She just seems that Marge wants to forget the whole instant, and then when she's just at the front door, she overhears her parents going on about Homer, and both seem to be. They get to the point where they're glad that Artie was the one she went with, because neither seemed to be too enamoured with Homer anyway. And then Marge just decides she's gonna go back out and pick Homer up, and then basically we just lead into the ending of sort of they don't basically do the actual getting together in this, but this is where they basically leave at the point that they both basically say sowed the seeds of like this is the moment that they both have fallen in love with each other. Marge has been won over, and then we just go back to the house. Lisa finds it so romantic. Bart just wants to throw up, sticking his fingers down his throat.
Thing to do.
And that's basically the story of how Homer and Marge met.
Well, let's talk a bit about the episode. In my opinion, I don't think Marge should have been with either of them, because Artie's went a bit too far in the car. And Homer was like a stalkerish sort of guy, even lying to Marge that he took French and then he didn't take French. He wouldn't leave Marge alone, he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
He even shows up at a house, thinking that he's still going to the prom with her.
Even though she said no.
Even though she said no, exactly. It's sort of not a good way for a person to be if you want to get with a girl.
Yeah,
or get with anyone, basically.
And considering this is the story of how they met, and it's basically the first of many flashback episodes that they'll do, it's not really I mean, okay, you get the happy end at the end, but the way they've got to it, it just seems to be a sort of sour way of getting there, sort of thing. It's sort of like I'll put Homer at rock bottom, even though it makes him look like a stalker, and
he's just as bad as Artie.
Yeah, it just makes him. Yeah, in the end, it's you could look at it and go, well, basically, Marge just picked Homer because she viewed him as the better one out of both him and Artie. At least Homer didn't try to force himself on me, even.
But he was pestering her.
Yeah. So it just comes across as like what Marge wanted to be in a relationship, and it's like she chose Homer because he was the best out of both of them, even though neither one. It's exactly. not really a strong start for a relationship. That.
No, it's not. No.
But yeah, just getting into the whole flashback episodes, you hinted at it before, the fact that there's no Mo, no Carl and Lenny.
Yeah, I don't get why, because in previous later episodes when he did a flashback when Homer found that dead body, they were friends.
Yeah.
With Barney, Mo, Carl and Lenny at an early age with Homer. So.
But again, as the show's gone on, they've retconned it so much. I mean, you only have to look at the fact of I can't remember what series it was in 21st, 22nd series. They did another episode on Homer and Marge's relationship, but that basically the episode was that 90s show. So basically, they were saying in the 90s, Homer and Marge were courting, and it's like, well, you just retconned the whole series because Bart wasn't born at that point, even though the series started in 89. Well, the first series proper started in 89, and by that point Bart was 10.
Yeah.
So they just the flashbacks just basically rewrite themselves so often. So the fact that
they're all different.
Yeah. So the fact that Mo, Carl, and Lenny aren't in this could just be written off by the fact of, well, yeah, they'll just do another flashback episode later on because they don't really seem to care about the continuity with these flashbacks.
Yeah, they change so often.
Yeah, and that's another problem with the fact that the family doesn't age when they do these flashbacks each series. It's the fact that the further you go along, you're going back in time, but you're basically writing over bits like the 90s show. The fact they're doing teenage to 20s Homer and Marge, even though when the series began they were already in the 30s/40s.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to the flashback ones, we're not really too enamoured with them, just because of this whole thing of like they just mess with the continuity too much. And obviously we're not supposed to take it too seriously, the fact the family has been the same age for 30 plus years now, but still the flashback episodes just make it stupid sort of thing. You could sort of say, okay, although the series are getting a year older, they're not actually hinting at the year. But when you do the flashbacks, you're basically saying, well, there you go. We're actually saying what year it is, and it's just retconning the whole thing, sort of purpose.
Yeah.
But again, that's my rant anyway on these flashback episodes.
Yeah, well, I'm not very keen on, to be honest, myself. But that's just me. As well.
But moving on other bits from the episode.
Yeah, well, this is the first episode where Patty and Selma smoke as teenagers. This was influenced by the chain-smoking father, Clancy Bouvier.
Yeah, understandable, yeah. Smoking because the dad smokes sort of thing.
Yeah. So and there's other references about the episode as well.
Yeah. The article in Miss Magazine are Why All Men Are Bad, Hating and Dating, Do They Mix, and 25 Reasons Not to Shave Your Armpits. Bit random.
It is, yeah.
The Larry Davis Experience from episode 7G01 plays at the prom. Mr. Sekowski, the shop teacher, is missing a finger. So again, I think he's a woodwork teacher. So again,
that's right. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, woodwork. Yeah, he's not a very good teacher then. If he's missing a digit,
you want to be taught by him, would you?
Yeah. Homer has posters of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. So yeah, he's obviously a music lover back then. Even though it's not real, apart from, as I say, one of the previous flashback ones, he's sort of dips in and out of music, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. To be honest, yeah.
Marge says they were seniors in high school together, so that would mean that they are the same age. However, it has been established that Homer is 39 and Marge is 34. Is it possible that Homer got held back in school 5 times? Possibly.
It's a possibility.
He was dumb.
He's the smartest tool in the box.
Yeah, because he didn't look 23 when he was a senior. Again, just adding to the one of many weird things in the show about Homer's aging, but nobody else. And also a spoof of Barry White's song is played when Homer invites Marge for French guidance. The voice nor the lyrics belong to Barry White at all, but he does eventually make an appearance in the Whacking Day episodes.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Anything else to add about the episode?
I can't really think of anything else to add to it.
Well, if you didn't notice, Homer's guidance counsellor's door reads M to Z, but the counsellor says NZ. It's one of them things you got to look at of the episode when you watch it.
Yeah, the continuity not being into track.
And during the prom photos, the couple with the afros turn from yellow to brown. Again, earlier episodes, we've said it before.
Yeah, just not checking the editing properly, or whether they just leave that in just to see if we notice.
Yep, and on the leaflet, Montgomery Burns looks like his current self. I noticed that. As I looked at the leaflet, I did notice that myself, to be honest.
Yeah, because obviously in other flashback clips or flashback episodes, some have shown him to have hair, or is hers darker shades.
And we never know how old he is.
Yeah, it's one of those things that just changes from time to time. Now also, Homer dismisses English class as worthless because I am never going to go to England. However, Homer does tour England in the season 15 episode, the Regina monologues. Basically, that's the one where he ends up taking Grandpa.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you find out that he's got a half-sister sort of thing. Although it's never mentioned, you can sort of see because they have the same characteristic.
Yeah.
And they do sort of look alike. But again, that's another thing that it's like with his twin brother, even though it's not his twin brother.
Yeah,
different mothers, it's like...
Exactly.
But again, we'll get onto that one in the episode 4,
that
one later on. Also, a brief scene of the series 3 episode I Married Marge is shown, but it would not be until the following season that the story would be told in its entirety. So yeah, that'll be the next flashback of Bart's
Yeah, it
birth.
will be, yeah.
Also, although they think it is the first time they met, Marge and Homer will find out that when they were little kids they met at a summer camp in the series 15 episode, The Way We Weren't. Yeah, again, another one that screws around the continuity. Basically, if I remember rightly, they were 8-year-old kids.
Yeah, they were.
And basically, you try to get away around this by saying Homer didn't recognise Marge because she had brown hair, because she had an accident.
Yep.
Dyeing her, or doing something with her hair. I think she was trying to iron it or something.
Yeah, she was.
She ended up burning it, and Homer ended up wearing an eye patch and was calling himself Elvis.
This is why I don't like the flashback episode. They changed them so much.
Also, They Long to Be Close to You is again heard in the Simpsons movie when Homer watches his wedding video. So again, just really strange. When Homer is given the pamphlet about Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, he is told he does not need a college education to work there. Yet in the Series 5 episode, Homer goes to college, he does.
Well, clearly you would need a college education to get there because safety technician, sure you'd need some sort of degree to work in a nuclear power plant. But then again, as we've seen, when Homer does work there, how many meltdowns has he actually had? Yeah, and he doesn't actually know what buttons to press when he's working there.
But then again, a slight explanation to this, Homer only became safety inspector in I think it was the 3rd episode of Series 1, Homer's Odyssey.
Yeah.
So possibly when he first started working there, he may not have needed that. Maybe the degree that he needed was to be a safety inspector, but as a normal entry-level worker at the plant, maybe he didn't. Slight explanation, but again,
I'm sure you'd need something.
But again, that's a loose one, just to try and give a slight explanation of why it wouldn't be the case. But again, it's Simpsons, so continuity.
I'm sure you'd need something because you are working with nuclear power, so I'm sure you can't just get an entry not gain anything. Maybe he was meant to go to college and learn on the job.
Yeah, and then lastly, for the continuity, in the Treehouse of Horror 23 episode, season 24 episode, there's a segment, Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure. A number of scenes are taken from this episode. Most prominent is the scene in detention, which is where Bart ends up altering the timeline and stopping Marge and Homer from falling in love. So yeah, I think that was a parody on Back to the Future, where Bart steals Professor Frink's time-travelling car.
That's right, it is, yeah. Another reference to a movie.
Yeah.
You do that quite a lot now in The Simpsons, don't they? Reference to movies. You do it more now in the later episodes.
Yeah, because I think now...
I think they've run out of... Did you run out of ideas? That's why they're doing references to a lot of films.
I don't like using the word, but lazy writing. They just
it
basically...
It can be like that, yeah.
Because obviously now, the later series, like you say, they're relying on parodies of TV shows, movies, bringing in more celebrities, even though back in these series, if celebrities were in, they were only in to do voiceovers of just normal characters.
Yeah.
And now it's just a case of they feel they have to be more pop culture sort of thing. But like you say, maybe they've run out of ideas. Anything else to add to the episode?
I think that's it. Can you add anything?
Can't think of anything else.
Let's do the usual positive and a negative. I can. Let's go with the negative about the episode.
As we said many times in this episode, Homer's stalkerish activities in this.
Yeah, that's a definite negative.
Grandpa's not exactly fantastic at advice.
Like I said before, no wonder he doesn't like him in later episodes.
But again, as we say, from what we see of Marge's father, he's a saint basically, compared to Marge's father, when you think about him disappearing eventually.
Yeah.
Also, just the fact that Marge changes so quickly from being at the prom with Artie's behaviour, to then deciding she wants to get with Homer.
I think that's a negative. I think, in my opinion, she shouldn't have chose either.
Yeah, she's just gone from hating him to deciding. It just comes across the side, no, he's the worst of a bad bunch, or the best of a bad bunch, basically.
Yeah.
Which really isn't the best solution. I mean, if they're trying to put forward, oh, this is the start of the love story, it's like it's not exactly a strong point to start a love story on.
No.
Unless they're trying to get across of, oh, Marge suddenly decides she she really did love Homer, even though basically...
Yeah, but how can you love someone who's a stalker?
Yeah, and the fact that even she had the conversation with him at the prom about how she was never going to be with him, and then less than a couple of hours later, she suddenly decided she wants to be with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Any other negatives about the episode?
Well, main negatives, I think we could be here for a while on negatives.
Yeah.
Again, it seems to be another episode that comes across as a negative one when you watch it back, sort of thing.
Another one, why did Homer wanted to go to make out point could be negative. What was he intending to do at make out point?
Yeah. Yeah, surely he could have gone somewhere else, or maybe just gone home and saved himself money. So obviously he was on the clock anyway with it. So we move on to positives.
Yeah, positives. I know we said stalkerish, but Homer not giving up on the woman he loves.
Some people,
some people may think of it as a positive. Some people like ourselves think it's stalkerish, but some people say, yeah, it can be construed as a positive, like not giving up on a woman he loves, he wants to be with.
Well, I think really the stalkerish point only sort of comes in when he's at the prom, basically acting like the fact that he is. Yeah, you can say chasing the woman he loves because he still turns up at the house, blind faith, thinking she'll still want to go with him, sort of thing. So yeah, like you say, not wanting to give up on her. Again, although we hate on the flashback ones, if you look at it in the case of when it was first shown, it's like, yeah, always nice to see how they did get together eventually, even if it didn't seem to come across as a particularly strong way for it to be shown, basically.
Yeah.
And just obviously, although they might retcon stuff later on, again, seeing how some of the other characters were back then as well, the likes of Patty and Selma, just basically stating that Homer and Barney have been friends from a young age. So basically it sort of gives that an extra dimension instead of saying, oh, Homer and Barney are only friends because of the fact they drink and Moe's together. They have actually been friends since college.
Yeah.
So they do actually give that backstory something as well, put a positive spin on that, in a sense.
It's the only thing they continued, weren't it? I mean, with the rest of his mates, Moe, Carl and Lenny.
Yeah, it's sort of they flick in and out. But again, as I say, that's just the case. That just comes down to the flashback or the just clips that they show from the past that just seems to be rewritten or just added to or retconned.
Or maybe at the time of this episode, they didn't think that they met each other at a younger age. They didn't have that idea. But in later flashbacks, they had the idea. It's like, no, hang on a minute. How about we change it where Moe, Carl and Lenny, Barney and Homer were mates at an earlier age.
Yeah, but then again, it could probably be put into the fact of maybe those particular ones didn't show up in this because they just weren't at the same school. Basically, it only really revolved around the school.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, to be fair, it has been said that Moe was quite a tearaway when he was younger, so maybe he was in a juvenile school or maybe at Spelman School or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And yeah, maybe Carl and Lenny, again, continuity, Carl and Lenny may not have even been living in Springfield back then or something. But again, yeah, you look at it from outside the box, it is just a case, like we say, yeah, they do retcon quite a bit. But yeah.
I think I'll go back to a negative, whether you agree. It's beginning of the episode where Homer tells Bart, shut up, boy. And I've realised he's done it a few times in the earlier episodes. And as a father, that can be viewed as being...
Well, yeah, the fact to just elaborate on that, he just threatened him as well. He's like, it'd be bad. It's bad for your eyes sitting next to the TV. No, it is. It's like, it will be.
Yeah.
Sort of threatens that he's going to punch him.
It's like in one of the episodes, he was nice to his son, Bart, but then in a lot of the episodes, he's been quite abusive, but Marge just accepts it. Even at later episodes, just accepts him strangling Bart. But if you're a mother and you see your father actually strangling your son, wouldn't you, as a mother, go, what you're doing, stop strangling your son?
Yeah, but again, that can probably be put in the category of there's bad points for the whole thing. The fact that Homer is a neglectful / abusive father.
Yeah.
Although,
we don't say it a lot to Lisa. It's mainly shut up boy. He mainly says shut up to Bart. It's not. He doesn't like Lisa playing a sax, but you know he's never strangled Lisa, but he strangles Bart and tells Bart to shut up quite a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But the house is just meant to accept Homer saying that.
Yeah, it is just pawned off sort of thing, as if it's just become the status quo.
Yeah.
Any other positives, negatives?
Well, positive, you can say the family sitting around talking about how Homer and Marge met,
even though
talking about the past, even though it was forced, but having a family discussion, meaning that there's more to life than just TV.
Yeah, I think you can sort of you can put that in as like a footnote, some moral of the story, the fact of maybe sometimes families need to talk sometimes and just not constantly watch TV.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
I think that's it for the positives and negatives, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll wrap it up.
If we've missed any positive or negatives, or you think of any other comments which you'd like to add, please comment down below.
Like, share, subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next video.